Bum, 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 bum. Oh, we are switched on. Hello folks, welcome. 10 to 5 in the evening. It is Thursday. Is it Thursday? I don't know, it's Wednesday or Thursday. 17th or 18th of December. Anyway, I'm here in the studio, as you can see. Just here, I'm just doing a bit of decorating, so come and join me. Those are the jugs over there that you saw me doing in the last clip. And just a word briefly on these. You know when you dip something, like I dipped these, and where my fingers were located, like there, you see these marks. You know, when you dip it in, depending on, you see, how far you take the glaze down. Well, in this case I took it down to the foot here. So where my fingers were, there's a little mark there where the fingers are. Now, the question is, and I put this to you, the question is, should we touch those marks up to pretend that they're not there? Although it's very difficult to do it in a satisfactory way. I have in fact tried to do it on one, because so what you need to do is where your finger was, you need to apply glaze, and then I did this some time ago, and then you would rub over, you see. You want to try to get the same thickness of glaze there as the surrounding glaze is, you see, so you don't notice it. So, well, I mean, I don't mind it actually, having a little mark there. It all depends, you see, and this is where I think, this is what I think should be one's guiding light, as it were, in all of this, and that is, does having the marks there of the fingers, does it add something to the pot? Does it contribute something positive to the pot? If it does, then I think it's fine to leave them. On the other hand, it could leave, it could be, it might not leave something positive. It might leave something that looks a bit kind of messy. You know what I mean? In which case, then I think you should touch them up, and that's why I did do one, because partly because of the way I was holding it. Because some of these have got a bit of a curve here, got something to hold on to, and that one over there. Remember when I was lifting it out of the bucket, I thought I was going to drop it, you see. I wasn't confident enough, and it was because I was feeling my fingers were slipping on the where they were touching, you see. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention it in passing. La-di-da-di-da. There you go. Anyway, right now I'm over here. I've got these other pictures here, you see, which I've put some celadon glaze over those. I don't know if you can see that, like that, you see. These are sort of like rustic kind of pictures, you know what I mean? Those sort of, you know, they're not done with too much care. You know, you'd hold it up, you know, and you think, oh, Simon, that doesn't look very straight there with the glaze. And no, well, it's not actually supposed to be. It's supposed to be straight, actually, but, you know, I'm a human being, and it doesn't always come out dead straight, does it? As much as you want to try to make it so. I'll just show you what I've been doing here. I've done these, I glazed these guys earlier on, these little, now these I waxed here, you see, on the gallery, or the ledge here where the lid rests, and I did wax that, and then I just put the glaze in there, and you can Actually, I wasn't sure whether I was going to glaze them all over when I waxed them. In the end, I haven't. I've just done that, but it just makes it a little bit easier for, and then just on the underside. So these are probably going to be sprayed over with wood ash all over, which I'm just about to do, so you can watch me huff and puff. And then some of the other ones here, I've taken my brush to, and with it red iron oxide, you see, and I've just brushed, banded, and then done a very simple little motif there. Different one here, just flecks, you know, with a brush. And then these guys, between the banded lines, I've done then the, you know, the lots of flecks going in all different directions, which kind of reminds me of tadpoles in a pond, or fish thrashing around in the water, you know, when you chuck in a crumb or two, they all go crazy. So you can interpret that as you want, you see. It's a decoration I do from time to time, which I quite like. So just here a word on decorating directly using using the red iron oxide pigment here, which is, well, look, here's some I did prepare the other day. This is like 75% red iron oxide and 25% red clay, you see. So if you take your red iron oxide, and you can decorate direct onto the bisque. And one of the nice things about that is you can actually, when you've done that, you can put a glaze over it. You can put this white glaze that I've got here on this picture, which I use. It's a very useful glaze because you can use it just plain like that with no iron in it, or you can, like those pictures over there, those celadon ones, you can add like 2% red iron oxide to it and you get a nice celadon, you see. Anyway, I could put that on top of the bisque with a decoration underneath. Alright, that's one way of doing it. In that way, the iron oxide penetrates into the bisque. It's less likely to run like that, in my experience. Another thing, though, what one can do is, okay, just going back to that with the decorating with the white glaze, you can also put the, as you can see here on this picture, you can put it on top of the glaze, not underneath it, like I just said with this guy. So that's the two ways of doing that. And then doing it directly onto the bisque like this, but not then adding anything. You get a very nice crisp decoration. It doesn't run. And what I do is I spray some wood ash over it. Anyway, right now, this moment in time, I'm just here. I'm just trying to figure out this picture. Sometimes these things, you have to figure them out as you go along, you see. You're probably thinking, oh, you've probably got it all figured out, and you've got it all... No, not at all. It's like, I'm like working... I'm flying by the seat of my pants, you know. Anyway, so with this one, I've this had a white glaze, you see, but not on the outside here. And what I've got to do now is I've got to take some cobalt here, because I want to add a bit of blue into it, you see. Blue's a nice... This is not a real blue, you know. This is, it's toned down, this blue. I gave you the recipe the other week, didn't I? Or the other day. So what I want to do is add a blue line here around, underneath this thicker line. I want to add a finer line, you see. So, I'm going to start here. Take it around. To there. like that. So now what I'm going to do with, I've got one more to do over there, they're going to go over here, you see. We're going to put some wood ash on those in a second or two, or three. La 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 la. So I've got one more here to do. Yeah, I picked up a bit of a cough and a kind of like throatiness, but this is something good to share with you actually. If you don't like suffering from coughs and colds, which I don't particularly, I don't expect anybody does really. What you can do is when the first time you feel the sort of symptoms of a cough and a cold, or you feel like you think, oh no, I'm getting something, what you should do is, what I do, and it works, and that is get some hydrogen peroxide, the stuff you can buy in the pharmacy, and a little pipette, a little squeezy pipette thing, and just suck up about 1/4 inch or so in the pipette. It's probably about 6 or 7 drops, and you lie down lie down on your bed and you squirt it in your ear. You see, you lie down like that, flat, and then you put the hydrogen peroxide in your ear and it fizzes and bubbles. You want to leave it in there for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then you drain it out onto a towel, and then you do the other side. And well, you might say, well, Simon, why are you doing that? Why do you want to do that? Well, there is a theory, although it's not generally accepted by the medical profession, but there is a theory that coughs and colds and flu viruses, they enter through the ear canal here. So by putting the hydrogen peroxide in there, it kills it dead. And my experience of doing it is that it works. The key though is getting it at the right time, you see. Anyway, have a go. If you think you're going to be suffering from a cough or a cold or something, take some hydrogen peroxide, put 5 or 6 drops in each ear, and do that once a day or twice. You'll find it'll clear your head, your headache will go away, begin to breathe again. It's amazing. What's that got to do with the price of eggs, Simon? We're supposed to be learning about pottery. Wow. So I'm just banding this across the top here, this red iron oxide, like that. Maybe we'll do it another time. I put it on a couple of layers of that, you see. And then down the handle here, I do some flecks, you see, like this. Like that. And now that blue line we're talking about, we're going to do. Yeah, do try the hydrogen peroxide. I tell you what, it was discovered by a doctor called Simmons in 1928, and it was generally not accepted by the medical profession. Wow. That doesn't surprise me, because there's no money to be made out of it, you see, it's free. So now we're going to put some wood ash on here. So let's swing the camera over here. Ooh. This is not a job I actually like doing, spraying this wood ash. Anyway, I'll tell you about it. You can try it. This is good for cone tannin reduction. I've got one of these old agave syrup bottles, you see, and one of these guys. So I stick that down there. And you want to sort of like at least half fill that with wood ash that's been sieved. You can just take your fireplace wood ash and put it through a fine mesh sieve, say 80 mesh I think I use, and then the fine dust that goes through, I put some in here, half fill that, and then top it up with water. Alright, give it a shake. Give it a shake. Stick that back. Right, now I'm going to start huffing and puffing. Whoa. The reason I don't like it is because it kind of makes your head a bit. It can make you a bit dizzy as well. So, that's what I do. The idea is not to get an even coating. What I do is I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then turn it around and repeat. So each pot, each pitcher in this case, has 4 areas that are sprayed. By doing it like that, you see, you get a bit of contrast. You get also a little bit where it hasn't been sprayed and where it has. So you get contrast, which is nice, I think. It's a bit like blushes on your cheeks. Oops, sorry folks. Clumsy me. So when I've done that, I then turn the whole board around, you see. Do these. There we go. We used to do this at Lower Down. I hated it. It's an idea my dad came up with, I think. My brother Johnny used to say, don't waste your time with that, just get a wood kiln and do it properly in a wood kiln. Well, that's all very well if you've got a wood kiln, but this is a cheating way, you could say, but you get a nice little effect. It adds something to the pot that it wouldn't otherwise have. It makes it like nice and, excuse me a second, it gives a toasty look to it. Here I've got a wall vase here, hopefully I can show you. Can you see that's the natural colour of the clay. It's a bit bland, isn't it? But you see where the wood ash has been sprayed over, it gives this rather nice, these blushes, you see. So it can be quite nice. If you want to be a purist, yeah, it's cheating and all the rest of it, but that'll do. That'll do. So there we are, folks. That's the little clip I've done doing just to show you today. If you want to join me for a one-on-one Skype session, what we're offering on the website is Skype at the wheel. What you'll need is a decent internet connection, good lighting, a webcam of course, and we're going to do some, I'm going to do some teaching. As it's winter time now and people can't travel so readily, I thought it would be an idea to do this. If you go to my website you can see details about that, Skype at the wheel. If you want an hour's tuition, you can't travel, maybe you're shut in the snow and all the rest of it, then you might find that something that interests you. So we're going to go on now and put these things in the kiln. I haven't forgotten the weavers. I've got boards of tankards under wraps waiting for me, but I've got to get this kiln off first, you see. So I'll be coming back to that as soon as I can. Hey, thanks for joining us, folks. And yeah, visit my website, simonleachpottery.com, and keep practicing. That's the secret, as I've told you at least nearly 1,000 times now. Okay, how do we switch this thing off? Oh yeah, bye-bye now.